Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Tanya. I'm a mom of 3 and today I have a really exciting video. My baby girl is turning 1, so to honor her I wanted to, and for my memories, I wanted to show her, tell you my birth story with her. I have a couple clips of me in labor with her and like me having her, but I wasn't vlogging or anything yet, so this is just like our memory video. So I'll show you a couple clips of like the actual events, but I only have like me already in full-blown labor and then me having her, so I'll show you that. But the moments leading up to little backstory. So I'm a mom of 3, right? I've had my first in 2018, my second in 2021, and then my third in 2022. I'm blessed in the fact that I had all vaginal labors. I did get an epidural with all of them. How good the epidural worked or not is a different story. But I feel like I'm more like, because it's my last baby, you know, my last planned baby. My husband did get a vasectomy, so if we were to get pregnant, that would be miracle. I would be part of the 1% again. Story for another time. But so yeah, I'm really excited to share with y'all my birth story with Camila because she will be 1 next week. So yeah, hope y'all stay tuned and let's get into it. So Camila was actually the baby that was born the latest. My first was born at 37 weeks and my second was born at 38 weeks and my third at 39. She was the one that like legit did not want to come out. At 36 weeks, I think that's when they start checking you. I was 3 centimeters, and she even, especially it being my third birth, she was like, I will be super surprised if she stays there any longer. And that, like, I was like, oh my god, in my head, like, I'm about to have this baby. Especially since my first, I had him at 37 weeks and my second, at 38 weeks. I was like, I'm fixing to have her. And mind you, I'm still I'm a nurse for my job on the floor, so I am up for 12 hours and I was working full-time my whole pregnancy till the last month. I think after that appointment, I want to say I got off the floor. I told my manager that like, I'm done, I did my time, like I just started doing paperwork or whatever for the floor, which in hindsight I shouldn't have done that. So that week passed, nothing happened. The next week I got checked again. I think I was 4 centimeters and she said barely 4, so maybe not much had progressed. So that really, like, I was like, oh, but then I was like, 4 centimeters can lead to 10 really fast. And I think I was not feeling good. I was napping all the time. And she said she wouldn't, if I wanted to get my membrane swept. And I was like, I don't know if I should, because with my second, I also got my membrane swept. And I had him, my labor with him was very painful. The epidural didn't even work for me. So I was scared of that happening again. So I told her no. And I was like, if next week I'm pregnant still, then yes, next appointment. So that was at my 37-week appointment where I was 4 centimeters and I told her no. Another week flows by. And mind you, at work, I'm telling everybody like, yeah, I'm about to have a baby. I'm already 4 centimeters, like blah, 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 blah. I make it to my 38-week appointment and I'm like, oh my god, I'm still pregnant. Like, I was just so uncomfortable. I was so ready to have her. I was done. So I let her sweep my membranes that day. And if you ever got your membrane swept, it is not comfortable. Like 0 out of 10. 10 is not the worst pain ever, obviously, but it's a good 5. It's just uncomfortable, you know? Anyway, I went home and I had like a couple contractions, but nothing that stayed. Another week passes and I am over it. I'm 39 weeks pregnant and I am over it. I'm still going to work because I'm just like doing paperwork and stuff, so I might as well, because I didn't want to use my PTO already for just sitting in the house. Like, I was never gonna have the baby if I'm just sitting around. And that's why I said, like, maybe I should have stayed on the floor. It would have made me have the baby, because I'd be, have you ever seen floor nurses? We are getting it. So I went to my 39-week appointment. She's like, I could sweep you again, and this time I'll do it like rougher so you'll have her. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, can we also just schedule an induction, because I don't want to wait. Like, I'm ready. And she's like, okay, you'll talk to the office staff, like, see what day they have available for me to induce you. But she swept my membranes again. That time wasn't as uncomfortable, I guess, because I was already uncomfortable as it was. So I was, baby, I was fine. Do what you gotta do. And then they told me they wouldn't be able to induce me. I think it was at 41, because I didn't have a medical necessity. Like, thankfully my blood pressure wasn't high or anything, so there wasn't any reason to, so they couldn't like bump me on the list. Apparently everybody was having their baby in August of 2022. So I couldn't do that. And I really was like, I'm not gonna make it to 41 weeks. Like, I'm not gonna make it to 41 weeks. I am not. So that wasn't even an option for me. I think when the office lady told me that, I was like, done. I stopped hearing her. I was like, whatever. So she swept my membranes, and that day I had like consistent contractions. I remember, because I got home like at maybe in the middle of the day, and I was cooking and doing like my normal stuff, and I just felt so uncomfortable. And I'm like, is this it? Like, is this the day? And I'm like, oh, I don't feel good. So I finished what I was doing, and like I laid down, and it's like 2-ish at this point, and I'm like laying down, and my husband's home, and my son was like in the middle of us. We were just watching TV, and I just look at him, and I was like, I think I'm having contractions. Like, I don't feel good. And I don't know if I was like overwhelmed or the pain was actually that bad, but I was like, I was already crying. I was crying already. I was just like, I don't know what to do, because we had our baby in Houston. So rush hour was about to happen. Like, it's fixing to be 3, like, you know, 5, everybody's getting out of work. And it's 2:30-ish. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, my contractions are not that bad, but if I was already a 4, like, I can only imagine what I am this week. I think she still told me in my appointment I was like a 4-5. And I was like, that can progress really fast, and I don't want to have my baby in the car. Like, whenever in my past deliveries, like 2 pushes and my babies have been out. So I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, do I go to the hospital, or do I just stick it out till it actually gets really bad? And then I was like, no, I don't want to stick it out until it gets really bad, because then I can't get an epidural. If I get it too late, it's not going to work for me again, like my last delivery. So we pack up the kids and take them to my mother-in-law's house, and like pack up all our stuff and like go to the hospital. And I check in and whatever, I'm still having contractions the whole way over there. I'm having contractions, and I'm just like, oh, this is it, you know. We get to the hospital, and she hooks me up and everything. I pee and I stop having contractions. I think I was actually having contractions because my bladder was so full. So once she hooks me up to the machine, I'm not contracting anymore. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But she checks me and she's like, you're like 5'6". And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I'm right there. Like, let's just, I was like, will you call my OB and see what she says? Like, can I just be admitted and have this baby? And she was like, oh, okay, we'll see, because like, if the floor was full, like, and I'm not actively in labor, they're gonna have to give it to the mom who is in active labor, obviously. So I'm like, oh, please. And mind you, I got the first room when you walk in the unit of like your labor and delivery unit, and that is absolutely the worst room ever. But I was like, I'm not gonna complain. They're gonna, like, if I start complaining, she's gonna be like, no, send her home. She's worried about what room. But it was only annoying because, like, whenever those doors slam, they're like heavy security doors, especially on a labor and delivery unit. It slams. It is loud. You could hear everybody and every little thing. You know, that's beside the point, but it was very annoying. Anyway, so she calls my OB, and my OB says that it's okay to admit me. So I'm like, oh, thank God. And then she was on call, so she said she would be there in a little bit once she finished clinic and to check me. So like an hour or so passes. I'm already relaxed because I'm like, well, she said she would admit me. So I'm happy, like, I'm gonna have this baby today. She comes and see me, she checks me. I'm 6 centimeters. And at this point, she only had put an IV and started fluids on me. I didn't get any Pitocin or anything like that. So she tells me, she's like, do you want me to break your water? And then, like, in an hour or so, you'll have her. And I'm like, go for it. Please break my water. And you know what? Thank God I didn't read anything about doing that. I just, you know, when you're just so uncomfortable, you're just like, do anything, please, do anything. So I let her break my water in. My contractions were like very regular, and then I'll just be inserting clips of the footage I do have so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And I think it was like about, and even I asked for the epidural, and she was like, oh, he's the best, and blah 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 blah. The nurse was telling me. So this guy comes in, and his eyes are like bloodshot red, and I'm just like, oh, I don't think that was the anesthesiologist she was talking about to do this epidural. And I look at her face, my nurse's face, and she was like, oh, I thought so and so was coming. And he was like, oh, he's tied up, that's why they sent me. And I was like, didn't have a good vibe, but whatever, you know. I get into position to do the epidural, and he was like, Ben, you know how you're supposed to like arch your back and whatever, and I was having contractions, And no way I was arching my back was like sufficient for this man. Like, I'm in so much pain, like I'm trying to do the best I can. And he tried not once but twice to get my epidural, and he couldn't get it, and he was actually fixing to try again. And I'm like, no, you're done. You need to go grab somebody else. Because even as me as a nurse, like when I put an IV and I don't get it on the second time, I'm done. You should know your limitations. Like, you're not able to do it, grab somebody else. So I let him know. I'm like, I need you to leave and grab somebody else because you're not getting the job done. Like, it's already been like 30 minutes, so, and I'm dying in pain. And I was so frustrated. I was even like a little ticked off at the nurse, like not saying anything. But then I try to remember, like, whenever I'm the nurse and I see that, like, it's hard to say something to a physician. I don't know, it's a sticky situation. So I was like, don't get mad, just take a deep breath. And you know, when you're just you don't feel good and you just want to like at everybody, that's how I felt. But I was trying to like remain calm and not be like that person. Try to remain nice. So yeah, he grabs the other anesthesiologist, and that's the one my nurse had talked about originally, and literally boom, gets it done. He gets it done. And he's like, I'm gonna fix you up really good, you're gonna be feeling good. And I'm like, okay, beautiful. He pushes 100 mics of fentanyl, and I was like, I asked him, because I obviously know what the medicine is. I'm like, how much are you giving me? And he's like, 100, and he pushes it. And I thought like I would feel like amazing. No, I didn't feel amazing. And then he was like, well, I'll come back in a couple minutes, and if you're still in so much pain, like, I'll push some more. And I was like, okay, fine. I was still in so much pain, but I guess it did relax me because I pooed on myself. I had a little accident, and I didn't even realize it till like I had smelled something, but I for sure didn't think it was me. I was like, that's not me. Like I didn't feel like I had a bowel movement. And then I feel like the nurse, I thought she was just changing me positions, but she's changing me. She's like cleaning me up, and my best friend, my husband and my best friend were there. Sorry, forgot to mention that. And my best friend and the nurse are like changing me really fast, like without me even really noticing, which sounds insane, but I guess I was just like in another world. And they changed me really quick, and I was like, was that smell me? And she's like, my best friend was like, yeah, you pooed. And I was like, no, I didn't. I was like, I didn't even feel it. And I'm like, oh, I guess the epidural's working now, because I just relaxed, literally. So instead of pooing like while I'm pushing, I'm pooing just to poo. That was so embarrassing, but you know what? I didn't even care at the end of it. I was just like, and I'm grateful like they didn't make it a big deal. My best friend is also in like the medical field, so it didn't even faze her. But thankfully she had like perfume, and she sprayed that all around the room because it was not cute. Anyway, so they're just like moving me around positions, and I think it took an hour from when maybe 2, when my water broke, because whenever we got to the hospital, it was 4:30, and whenever I had her was 7:56. So everything happened pretty fast. So and then I felt her, and I was like, I think I'm ready. That just made me so emotional all over again. And I just can't believe she's about to be 1 next week. But I just like remember holding her and just feeling so like happy, like unbelievably happy. And it's just even more of a like bittersweet because she is my last baby, and I really wanted a baby girl, to be honest. I love my boys and I'm so grateful I have them, but I just also wanted a baby girl. So she is literally the best thing ever and completed our family entirely. That is Camila Daisy's birth story, and I'm so grateful. Literally, I think it was like 3 pushes and she was out. I need to collect myself. I'm just so grateful that like I was able to have my 3 babies, and I'm super blessed in the fact that like we didn't really have any major issues. So I just like thank God. Like thank God. I know a lot of people are not lucky in that fact, and I hope y'all enjoyed watching this and just continue watching our journey and us like now moving into like raising our babies and living our life. So if y'all watched to the end, thank you so much. And my baby girl is 1 and she just woke up from her nap, so perfect way to end this. But anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.